G'day guys, welcome to my Running Smiles feature video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about NRL's round 21's recap preview for 2021 guys. Let's get started. So guys, starting off with this first game of this match, we see the Knights going up against the Broncos. Now this game was pretty much a really tight effort, 28 points to 20 in this game, and this one was a close match. I thought to myself, the Broncos weren't going to get into this winning game for sure, because I knew for a fact that the Knights were going to pull their finger out and basically get a win, and they obviously did. But this game was basically a really good lead. The Broncos, they played a really good match, and I'd say this game was pretty much a really tight win. Excuse me, but I just have to say, this game was so unexpected, and I just have to say, like, in this match, I really think that it was a really good game. And based on the Knights getting up on top to win this game, I just have to say credit to the Newcastle Knights. They are a really good team, but based on how the way they play in the competition, I just don't think that they will get on the top 8 that much. I just have a potential though that Knights will fall down below, but if the Knights keep on going well and doing well and not losing any games, I just reckon that they will improve this this season, pretty much, since there's a couple more games to go and left. So I just have to say, like, I feel so sorry for the Broncos. I don't have any hate for the Broncos, and I just have to say, like, this game was pretty much a real tight match, but 28 points to 20 was a really tight game and absolute hectic game, and I wasn't expecting this game to be a real tight match. I thought to myself that Knights were going to thrash the Broncos, but pretty much it was a tight game anyway, 28 points to 20 in that match. The next game of that match, we see the Raiders going up against the Dragons. Now in that match, this game was pretty much a very splendid lead by the Raiders that really flogged the Dragons in this game, and I think to myself that the Dragons, like, 50% they're a really good team, but then the other 50% they're like not a good team. But I just have to say, by this club, the Dragons, they're a really good club, but they just fallen down really below because they are struggling with so many players. They are going to get a couple of players in next year and starting off, I think, this year. But for the Raiders, though, they are obviously a really good team, and based on that, 20 points to 12 was a really average game of football, and I thought that this game weren't going to go as planned. But if this match was really good match, I would have thought the Raiders were going to smash the Dragons even more. They were put more points on against the Dragons, but I just didn't think that they will, and they were. But yeah, the Dragons, they really just didn't fight at all, and they didn't really get a potential win. But in this game, the Raiders, they are a really good team, and they are a really good club. Because I have to say, like, credit for them, they are a really good team, and they obviously have, like, really suitable players in that team. I just have to say, like, credit to Jordan Rapana and Jack Wan. They are a really good team based on how the way they play and how the way their ball handling is pretty good, up to standard. Credit to them anyway. So yeah, the Raiders did win against the Dragons, 20 points to 12 in that match. The next game of this match, we see the Eels going up against the Rabbitohs. Now, okay, this game was just absolute appalling by the Eels, and I thought that they were going to turn up in this game, but unfortunately they didn't. They only got 2 tries to spare, and they were just playing, like, shocking. I just have to say, like, this game was just really not on, and this game was so poor by the Penrith Eels, and I just had to say, like, for this one to be a really shocking game, we don't really have a good record against the Rabbitohs, because last time we played against the Rabbitohs at Bankwest Stadium, we got flogged in that game, and I just didn't think that the Rabbitohs were going to put a big lead and a big win against the Eels, but apparently they did, 40 points to 12, and we got flogged by heaps of points. I just didn't think that they were going to flog us in this game, and I thought the Penrith Eels were a really good team at the moment, but since they now don't have Reid Marnie due to a shoulder injury, and he is going to be out for the season, unfortunately for you guys that want to know. He's out for the season, so Joey Lussick will be fulfilling in and that number 9 side, which I'll be mentioning that in my next video for the predictions. Anyway, so yeah. But anyway, like, the Rabbitohs, they are a really based on team, and like without those superstar players, the Rabbitohs won't be a really good team. They'll just be a sloppy team that won't get the job done, and they'll just struggle by lots of points. And based on that, I thought since Mitchell Moses was going to come back into that side, they were going to turn up, but unfortunately they didn't. So yeah, well done from the Rabbitohs for making a really good win against the Eels, 40 points to 12 in that match anyway. The next game of that match, we see the Warriors going up against the Sharks. Now, this game was pretty much a really good win by the Warriors. I thought to this game that it was going to be a very not good of a game, because usually last time the Warriors played this side, the Warriors kicked the field goal to make it a 1-point lead. Field goal win, actually. And then last time the Sharks played against the Warriors, Chad Townsend kicked the field goal to win that game anyway. I just didn't think that this game was going to be a really good of a win, but since the Warriors came out on top to, like, really based on the pressure of this team, I just have to say, like, this game was just absolutely good of a win by the Warriors. Only just went by 2 points, 18 points to 16, and this game was basically close. And I just have to say, by this game, it was pretty much a really good win, and I didn't think that they were going to win at all. I thought the Sharks were going to produce a really good win in this game, but I just didn't think that they were going to win by a really good win in this match. But yeah, it was just an average good of a game, but I just have to say, by this match, it was going to be a really good game for sure, and I just didn't think that this game was going to be a really good of a win, but since this game was going to be a really good game, at least the Warriors won, and they put a really good win out against the Sharks by 2 points, and well done from them for making a really good win against the Sharks anyway. The next game of that match, we see the Roosters going up against the Panthers. Now, in this game, 20 points to 14, really close. This scoreline was just absolutely crazy, and since Matt Burton played in that number 6 role and number 7 was Jerome Luai, with still no Nathan Cleary. He played in that number 21 of that jersey. Not played, I meant on the reserves. He didn't play at all because of his injury, I still believe. But since Matt Burton played in that number 6 role, he obviously scored 2 tries in that game, which obviously I think it was Paul Momorowski that scored a try in that match. This really sealed the deal. And I just have to say, like, credit to the Panthers, because this game was just absolute crazy, and I didn't think that the Panthers were going to make a really good win, but they obviously did, because this game was going to be a hard game, because usually the Roosters put on a really good lead. But since they have lost a couple of players due to injuries, retirements and suspensions, the Roosters aren't really good of a team at the moment. I just have to say, by the Panthers, I cannot believe that they are just a really good team. And credit to a couple of players that I really like: Matt Burton, Jerome Luai, Bronwyn Morowski, and Dylan Edwards. They are the good credits of the game, and without them, there's no Panthers at all. There's no Panthers at all. And I just have to say, this game was just a really good game by the Panthers. They obviously got a win against the Roosters, because I was going to predict that game, but I also did, and I obviously got that win. So, yay for me. But anyway, well done from the Panthers for making a really good win, 20 points to 14 against Panthers against the Roosters anyway. Okay, now this game of this match, we see this Manly Sea Eagles going up against the Melbourne Storm. Now, the rivalry, the hate, the hatred. Manly Sea Eagles going up against the solid team, the Melbourne Storm. This game was top notch, and I just had to say, that this game was going to be a really good game. Since there were no fights in this match, which I thought they were going to be, because last time Manly Sea Eagles played against the Melbourne Storm, that game went to craziness. That game went to craziness, and I would say the Stewart brothers, should have sit down, against Adam Blair. Cannot believe that was a massive brawl. But this game, for the Melbourne Storm, they are a really good win. They are a really good team, and the Manly Sea Eagles, they are a really good team, but this game was just a really hard game to decide which of these two clubs were going to win. But 28 points to 18 was basically a really tight game, and I just thought to myself that were the Manly Sea Eagles going to win this game, and they obviously didn't. Quite to think that I was going to predict the Manly Sea Eagles. But the Melbourne Storm, they are a really good team, and luckily they did win. 28 points to 18 against the Manly Sea Eagles anyway, and well done from the Melbourne Storm for making a really good win against the Manly Sea Eagles in that match. The next game of that match, we see the Bulldogs going up against the West Tigers. Now in this game, 28 points to 16 in that game. The Bulldogs in the first half, they were playing absolutely excellent. But then when the West Tigers came out on top, the Bulldogs went like that. And they were really sloppy in the second half, and they didn't play really well, the Bulldogs. But I just have to say, by this club, the Bulldogs, since they are going to get new players, I just think that they're going to fall down below. And since they are still sitting on 16th position, I just have to say, luckily it was an easy win, and luckily the West Tigers got a really good win against the Bulldogs, because if the Bulldogs were going to win, it would have been a massive upset. And thankfully, the West Tigers won that match. And I just have to say, by this game turning into a real splendid game of football, luckily I thought it wasn't going to turn as boring as it was going to turn out, because I thought that it was going to be a tight game. But since the West Tigers played a really good game of football, luckily for me, I thought that it was going to be an upset, but it wasn't at all. And I felt so thankful that the West Tigers obviously got the job done. 28 points to 16 against the Bulldogs in that game, and luckily it was a very surprising win against the Bulldogs in that match. And finally, the next game of this match, we see the Titans going up against the Cowboys. Now, this game, 36 points to 14 in this game, was a big of a win. And I cannot believe that the Cowboys didn't execute very well. And I felt so sorry for Nick from Australia, because obviously he's a Cowboys fan. And thankfully that the Titans won. But really good job by the Titans to make it a really good lead, because the Titans, I thought that they were going to lose. Sorry. But that game turned to be a really big of a win. And surprisingly enough, the Titans played really well, as they usually do. And thankfully that they were going to win, because I did predict the Titans in this game. And I really thought that it was going to be a very big game, but it wasn't. And thankfully, the Titans, they got the job done against the Cowboys in this game. But what I do predict is, what I did predict was, in this match, it was pretty much a really big game and a big win. But luckily, the Titans got the job done against the Cowboys, 36 points to 14 in that match. Thanks guys for watching my video, guys. Stay tuned for more. We'll be doing a couple of videos coming to you guys soon. Also, we'll be doing more videos coming to you guys soon, so stay tuned for more. Plus, leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and for this video. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Until then, take care guys, stay safe and have a good one. Plus, let's get up to 300 subscribers. We're sitting on 216 anyway. So come on guys, let's get this up to 300 subscribers. We're seeing on that one, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.